Silver just got slapped back from $78 an ounce. And if you have any money parked in a 401k, any gold or silver coins in a drawer, or any cash sitting in your checking account watching inflation eat it alive, what happened in the last 72 hours is something you need to understand right now. Because this was not a normal correction. This was a message. And the message was sent loud and clear to every single person who thought silver was about to break free and run to $100 an ounce. Today I am going to explain to you in plain English exactly what happened, who did it, why they did it, and most importantly, what it means for your money in the next 90 days. And before we finish, I am going to reveal something that almost nobody in the mainstream financial press is talking about. I am going to call it the paper trap. Remember that name, because we are coming back to it. And when we do, you are going to see this market in a completely different way. First, let me set the table for you. Silver had been ripping higher for weeks. The metal that your grandfather used to buy for $1 an ounce touched $78, a level that would have sounded like science fiction just 3 years ago. Retail investors were pouring in. Physical coin shops were running out of inventory. Premiums on American Eagles were climbing. YouTube was full of channels screaming that silver was about to hit triple digits. And then, almost overnight, the price slammed into an invisible wall and got thrown back down hard. A drop of almost 10% in a matter of hours. If you were holding silver futures with leverage, you got wiped out. If you were holding physical silver, you felt a pit in your stomach. And if you were watching from the sidelines, you probably thought the rally was over. Here is the thing, it is not over. What you just witnessed was not the market deciding that silver is overvalued. What you witnessed was a specific group of players using a specific tool to push the price down on purpose. And that tool is the paper market. Let me explain what the paper market actually is, because this is the piece that most regular investors never fully grasp. When you buy a silver coin at your local dealer, you are buying physical silver, real metal. You hold it. It is yours. That is the physical market. But there is another market, many times bigger, called the futures market or the paper market. In the paper market, giant banks and hedge funds buy and sell contracts that promise to deliver silver at some future date. The problem, and I want you to really hear this, is that for every single ounce of real silver sitting in a vault somewhere, there are estimates of 200, 300, sometimes 400 ounces of paper silver being traded. It is like a casino where there are 400 poker chips for every $1 in the safe. As long as nobody asks for their dollar, the casino runs fine. But the price of silver in every newspaper, on every chart, on every brokerage app, is set by that paper casino, not by the real metal. And that is the rigging mechanism. Let me ask you something, and I want you to tell me honestly in the comments. When you think about silver, do you think of it as money, as a store of value that has protected human wealth for 3,000 years? Or do you think of it as just another stock ticker on your phone? Because the answer to that question tells you whether you are playing the game or whether the game is playing you. Leave your answer below. I read them all. Now, back to what happened this week. Silver was climbing toward $80, and something interesting started to happen at the physical level. Inventories at the COMEX, which is the main futures exchange in New York, started to shrink. Demand for physical delivery was rising. Coin shops in the United States were selling out. That is a red flag for the paper market, because if too many people start demanding real metal instead of paper contracts, the whole system cracks. So what did the big players do? They sold massive amounts of paper silver into the market all at once. Not real silver, paper, contracts, promises. They flooded the system with so much fake supply that the price could not hold. It tanked. Retail got scared. Weak hands sold. And the big boys quietly bought back their contracts at a lower price, pocketing the difference. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is documented behavior that regulators have fined banks billions of dollars for in the past. JP Morgan alone paid almost $1 billion in fines a few years ago for exactly this kind of manipulation in precious metals. The game did not stop. It just got more sophisticated. Now, how does this hit you, the regular American sitting at home? Let me break it down with real numbers. If you had $5,000 in a silver ETF like SLV when silver was at 78 and you are still holding it now, you just watched about $500 evaporate on paper in a couple of days. That is real money. That is a grocery run at Costco for a family of 4. But here is the part that the news will not tell you. That $500 did not disappear. It moved. It moved from your pocket into the pocket of the institution that sold paper silver at the top and bought it back near the bottom. They made money. You lost money. Same ounce of silver, different position in the chain. And that is what the paper market does every single time retail investors get excited. It is a transfer mechanism, moving wealth from people who do not know the rules to people who wrote the rules. Stay with me because the paper trap I promised you is coming. But first, here is the second layer. The Federal Reserve is in a corner right now. Inflation is not dead. The official number says 2 point something. But if you have been to Walmart or filled up your tank at a gas station in the last month, you know the real number in your wallet is higher. The Fed cannot raise rates aggressively because the government is drowning in debt, and higher rates mean higher interest payments on $36 trillion of federal debt. So the Fed is stuck. And when the Fed is stuck, the dollar weakens over time, which means silver and gold should go up. The big institutions know this. They are buying physical metal quietly while they knock down the paper price. JP Morgan itself holds one of the largest private silver stockpiles in the world. Think about that for a second. The same banks that pay fines for manipulating silver are the same banks that own massive amounts of physical silver. They are not stupid. They know where this is going. Here is my second question for you, and this one is going to split the room. If you had $10,000 in cash sitting in a regular bank account earning almost nothing, would you rather leave it there, put half of it into physical silver and gold, or put it all into the stock market chasing tech stocks? Be honest in the comments. There is no right answer for everybody, but I want to see how you think. Let me go deeper because this is where it gets practical. When I look at the silver market right now, I see 3 likely scenarios for the next 90 days. Scenario 1. The paper market keeps silver suppressed between $60 and $70 for a while longer, which gives the big players more time to accumulate physical metal at a discount. Scenario 2. A geopolitical event or a banking crisis breaks the manipulation, and silver snaps back to 80, 90, or higher in a matter of weeks. Scenario 3, which is the one nobody is pricing in, is that a major sovereign buyer, a country like China or Russia, or even one of the BRICS nations, demands physical delivery on a massive scale, and the paper market simply cannot deliver. At that moment, the price of silver would explode, possibly doubling or tripling in days, not months. That is not fantasy, that is math, because you cannot deliver what you do not have. Now, before I give you the paper trap, I need you to do something important. If you know one person, just one, who is worried about their savings, worried about inflation, worried about what is happening to the dollar, send them this video right now, not tomorrow, now. Because the window to understand this market and position yourself is closing faster than most people realize. Information is the only shield you have, and the people who profit from this game depend on you not having it. Share this. It takes 10 seconds, and it could save someone you love thousands of dollars. Here is the paper trap, the thing I promised you. The paper trap is the simple but devastating reality that most Americans think they own silver when they actually own nothing. If you bought shares of SLV or any other silver ETF in your brokerage account, read the prospectus. Really read it. Most of these funds are backed by paper contracts, not by physical silver that has your name on it. In a real crisis, when everyone wants their metal at the same time, you will not get it. You will get cash settlement at whatever price the market is at, and that price will be set by the same people who just knocked silver down from 78. The paper trap means your protection is an illusion. You think you are hedged against inflation. You think you own a hard asset. but you actually own a promise from an institution that has every incentive to make sure that promise is worth less than you think. The only real silver is silver you can hold in your hand, silver stored in a vault with your name on the title, or silver you have verified through audited physical delivery. Everything else is paper, and paper burns. What should you do with this information? 3 things. First, if you own silver through an ETF, understand what you actually own and decide if that matches your goal. If your goal is a quick trade, ETFs are fine. If your goal is protection against dollar weakness and inflation, physical metal is the only thing that truly works. Second, if you are going to buy physical silver, buy from reputable dealers. Get the lowest premium you can and store it somewhere safe. A home safe for small amounts, a private vault for larger ones. Avoid numismatic coins unless you know exactly what you are doing. Stick to bullion. Third, do not bet the farm. Silver is volatile. It can drop 20% before it doubles. A sensible allocation is 5 to 15% of your savings, not 50%, not 100%. Anyone telling you to go all in on one asset is not looking out for you. Diversification is still your best friend. Here is what I see coming. The paper game cannot last forever. Every month that passes, more physical silver leaves the system and does not come back. Central banks are buying. Wealthy families are buying. Quiet institutions are buying. Retail investors like you and me are the last ones to the party, and the big players need us to panic sell on every dip so they can pick up cheap metal. The moment the physical market breaks free from the paper market, and it will, the repricing is going to be violent. People who are positioned will see life-changing gains. People who are not will watch from the sidelines and wonder how they missed it. The rejection at 78 was not the end of the silver story. It was a pause engineered by people who need you to look the other way. If this made sense to you, and if you want to understand what is really happening to your money before the mainstream media catches up, subscribe, hit the bell, and tell me in the comments what topic you want me to break down tomorrow. I read every comment. The economy is not happening to you. It is happening around you. And the people who understand the game are the ones who win it. The rest are just paying for it.